Today's edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of PDF Pen, PDF Pen Pro, PDF Pen for iPad and iPhone, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPad and iPhone, Text Expander Touch, and Disk Label. Find out more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. I'm Chuck Joyner, and MacVoices is in Las Vegas for the SuperMeet and NAB. I'm here with Tim of Dashwood Cinematic Solutions to talk what's kind of, folks, it's a little bit difficult for me to tell you what we're going to talk about because I just did it. I'm still not exactly sure what I saw, but it's really cool. So, Tim, it's great to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. Thank you.
So, what did I just see?
Okay, so it's a new product called Stereo VR Toolbox. And it works in Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, or After Effects, or Motion. And basically it's a set of tools to work with 360 degree or 180 degree stereoscopic or monoscopic virtual reality. That's the idea.
Okay, so and I had an Oculus Rift on, and it's kind of amazing. Just turning my head, I'm looking at the helicopter overhead. I'm looking down at the ground. I'm looking all around. I'm seeing everything, and I never really considered the fact that you need to edit this, and that's what you're developing, which is fascinating because what you're looking at here in Final Cut doesn't look at all like that.
No, and that's the thing. When we edit, it's in what's called an equirectangular 2-to-1 ratio. So it's just like taking a globe and then making a flat map out of it. So if you look at a map of the world, you see that at the poles, everything's distorted. That's exactly what our 360 degree spherical footage looks like. And so it's kind of difficult to edit that together and know how certain shots are going to work together, especially if you let's say the user happens to be looking at a certain object in the scene, and then it cuts to the next scene, there might be nothing there, or something else that's jarring. Well, we can actually rearrange the whole geometry of the scene to make it work better as an edit. We can do all the standard stuff, all your color correction, dissolves, whatever. And the great thing is that we can preview it immediately in real time. So we no longer have to export the whole sequence and then take it to another application to check it. The director can just sit beside you with the headset on as you're editing and say, yeah, this is the way it should be, this didn't work. Or even, let's say you're putting text in your 3D, he can just look in a certain direction and say, okay, where I'm looking, that's where I want the credits to go. It's just simplifies everything.
So this means that editing 3D really does need to be a two-man process.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you could do it. You could just have this on your forehead and just bring it in as a single editor whenever you needed to. But yeah, I mean, the dynamic right now is we generally have directors who have gone out and shot this stuff, and it's the old paradigm of a director sitting with an editor actually putting the edit together.
I mean, it's a whole new world. Everybody's trying to figure out how to make it work, and this is a fantastic tool to do it. I definitely want you to show us a little bit of this, and we'll do that at the end. But before we do, what else does Dashwood do?
Well, our flagship product was called Stereo 3D Toolbox, and I wrote that back in 2008, the original version, and we're on version 5, I guess, now, and that's our flagship product. It's used all over the world for 3D production, and we also have a few other plugins that you can find on Effects Factory, and what's really cool, what I want to talk about is I taught my kids how to design plugins. They make little fan movies. They're age 12 and 10. And they, of course, love Star Wars. So they were making a little fan movie where they were doing a lightsaber fight. And so together we worked out how to make a simple plugin that just has 2 points, and then we can make the saber blade at different widths and everything. And then we also did blaster bolts and every transition from Star Wars. So there's some freebies, and they released it yesterday. So just go to Effects Factory, or go to fanfilmeffects.com. They made the website themselves, they did the tutorials themselves, and yeah, they're just fun little plugins, and they have more coming. They're doing Star Trek plugins, James Bond plugins, everything they're fans of. They want to do special effects for them. So
let's get this straight. We have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old releasing plugins at NAB Week.
That's right.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I tried to convince my wife to let them come, but she didn't think it was a good idea.
Yeah. Mothers are like that at times, way too practical. Way too practical. One more time, the website for that, because I want to make sure we plug that.
That's Fan Film Effects. That's just fanfilmfx.com. And our website is dashwood3d.com.
Great. Tim, thank you so much. Let's take a little look at this, and I'll just say, hey, thank you so much for supporting the SuperMeet and for being here and for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay, so let's go.
Okay. All right, so what we're seeing here, up on the top in the canvas, is our equirectangular view. And down here, if I have the Oculus on my head, let me just back that up. Just doing my JKL keys, just backing up the shot. I'll just pause it here. And so I can put the Oculus on and just look around the scene like this and actually see what it looks like. So I can preview the whole thing. I can look up at the helicopter, look down at the ground, see the horses here. And I can decide when I hit play, if I'm tracking this horse, let's say, I can decide whether that next shot actually works, or maybe I should use a different shot. Or maybe I should actually rotate that shot around. An example I like to use, I've got a shot back here that I'll just demonstrate. And let me just remove the transition here. I just demoed this to somebody, so just remove that. Okay, so here's a neat shot, and we have a lion pride. And if I look around here, just back it up. Okay, so this is the most interesting lion in the scene. So if we assume that someone has the Oculus on and they're looking at this lion because he happens to be coming towards the camera, one has to assume that when we go to the next shot, they don't want to be looking at the butt of an elephant. So I'm going to rotate this scene around. So I can just go to the Dashwood Stereo VR plugins, and I just apply my equirectangular pan plugin, and then we can reorient the whole scene so that we can see this elephant here who's actually facing us. So now I can just go back and hit play right away. My director can just be watching this, and he can go, yeah, that works, but let's try dissolve. So we can just literally, just add a dissolve the way we would normally with normal editing, then have another look at this. And now we have a dissolve, and I like that. That would work. So that's how it works. Now, of course, we never really know what direction the end user will actually be pointing when they're looking at our content, but we do know where the objects of interest are in the scene. So it's good to align them up. Now we also have a lot of conversion utilities in here. We can convert from equirectangular to polar view or back. We can also do all kinds of conversions as far as 180 degree standard rectilinear 3D. So let's say you just have a standard 3D movie that you shot a few years ago. You want to put it on YouTube so someone can sit in a chair with an Oculus and just watch it without any turning of their head. We can do that as well. So it's just a tool. It's basically like our other applications. It's a utility tool, but we're just trying to make life a little easier for when we're cutting our VR.
It's very cool. I think it takes a little while for us to look at it and understand what it is we're seeing. But the example with the lions and the elephants is perfect. You don't want that any more than you want a just flat 2D thing jarring you. This is so important here, but there's so many more options.
That's right. And this, I truly believe this is the future. I mean, here, this is a sample that someone sent us that is actually stereoscopically acquired 360 degree panoramic. So using stereoscopic pairs of cameras. So the other stuff was monoscopic, but that can be true stereo. Of course, I just crashed it. You'll cut that part out, right? So anyway, yeah, while we're on this, I think that it is the future. I think that the kids growing up today, they've been growing up on amazing video games with amazing graphics, and this is what they're expecting now from their entertainment. They are wanting that immersive experience, and I kind of feel like this is the natural progression from 3D. I mean, VR has been around forever. I've known about VR for 30 years, but now we finally are getting the technology where we get the resolution, it's lightweight, low latency, and it's finally becoming a reality.
Amazing. The website one more time where people go to learn more and see all your other plugins.
It's dashwood3d.com, and my kids' plugins are fanfilmeffects.com.
Tim, thanks so much for the time, and thanks for being at the SuperMeet.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Folks, more from the SuperMeet in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the MacVoices blog. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date on all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at macvoices.com/newsletter. Do more with your Apple tech by subscribing to the free MacVoices magazine on Flipboard by visiting macvoices.com/magazine. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.